when they touched each other there'll be corrosion.
What the heck has happened with this anchor chain? 12 volt DC power is exactly what could cause this. Hopefully next week we're in St. Martin and things are looking up. Well overdue, but we have finally made it up to St. Martin. As you can see behind me, we've still got some work to do, and a long time ago we decided that St. Martin would be the place for us to do that. There's a few reasons why we chose St. Martin. First of all, huge cruising community here where we can meet a lot of like-minded people, as well as catch up with people like Jeff and Eris, who we've already seen, and we have more plans with them in future. It's got easy access to Chandler's with lots of dinghy docks, easy access to supermarkets. You know, it's reasonably cost effective given we're in the islands, and it has tax-free imports, which in Trinidad you can import boat stuff tax-free, but other stuff it's around 40% import tax. We don't have that here, so there's a lot of positives to coming up here and finishing off Liga before we then head out and just focus purely on cruising. Where we're going to do that, no idea. We originally thought we'd do Bahamas, but now we're thinking pushing that to next year and go from our haul-out location to Bahamas and then downwind sail to Panama so we can finally do the Pacific. But as with many things boat life, it's written in the sand and the waves are coming any second, so we'll see what actually happens. Our chain and our anchor, that is still a developing situation. I might have an update for you by the end of this video, but for now I don't really have anything other than we have been monitoring it. We had a look at the comments on last week's video, had a few people suggest things, we've tested them, and it is still pointing to a stray current in the first bay we were in. But we are still testing for any small stray voltage because we need to be 100% sure before installing an entire new chain, chain hook, shackles and all the other components that there aren't any stray voltage issues on this boat. Something you may not be aware of is that the hull's electrical systems were tested for AC and DC voltage leak to an earth stake hammered in the ground in Trinidad before launch, and were confirmed as having 0 volts AC or DC as part of a larger warranty claim which was resolved with the help of Victron themselves. Maybe that's eventuated from the crossing we just did, because the truth is this boat has had a multitude of problems with loose cables, bad connections and hot joints before, from factory and certain aftermarket, which Trent and Tynan have done a lot of work to rectify and Leopard has assisted with. As I said before, a benefit of St. Martin is the shopping, and aside from things that we need for jobs around Liga, we currently have no emergency spares left of certain rigging pieces like 12mm shackles, as they were used on the anchoring system back in Guadeloupe. But today the plan is to take the tender into the lagoon here at St. Martin and go shopping. So I'm going to take you along for that. Bye bye Rosie! To get into the lagoon, we're going to go underneath this bridge, which does actually lift up to let the full-size boats in, but I look at how wide it is and I'm like, not our boat. Unique for somewhere so geographically small, St. Martin is a dual nation island. The border goes straight through the middle of the lagoon, but it's not a hard border, so we're free to zip from one side to the other in a tender. That said, we'd need to clear in and out of customs if we were moving the main boat. in the lagoon. We try to stick between the buoys, like the markers, because apparently there are still a lot of underwater wrecks from the hurricanes, and we definitely don't want to damage our prop or our boat.
Where's that dinky though? Where'd you put the fanny on?
It's in the backpack in the middle pocket. First stop today is Budget Marine, which we are well acquainted with from Trinidad.
Irony.
The irony. And then we'll kind of do a loop around to whatever else is in the area. And then once we've kind of done that, that will mean we've visited all the chandleries that they have here. We have an idea of what's available locally, and then we can start our online ordering, of which the Amazon account is about to get a workout. On the way into Budget, Trent just spotted this little boat, which is the one that he thinks Nino should get for his boat. What Nino needs to do, in my opinion, is what the Jeff did. Jeff built his own fiberglass tender in like 2 weeks here in St. Martin, because he's also a pretty handy kind of guy. So I don't see why Nino can't do that. We can see who can get the coolest tender.
One eternity later.
What's the time?
4:30. So we've been shopping for a billion hours, spent far too much time in Budget, and then an electrical shop, and then FKG. And now it's closing time for everyone. So time to head back to the tender before Budget Marine close the gate. Because we've put so much effort into shopping today, we're going to reward ourselves with a drink at Lagoonies. They actually have Magnus cider here. Who's out? They got him off, or do they need more? As we were heading home from Lagoonies, we came across two dinghies helping a yacht that had become stuck on a bank. They managed to free them just as we motored over to offer some assistance, using the new tow bridle that we generally leave attached to our tender. Back in Trinidad, we helped save multiple boats that had broken free or lost power, including a friend's catamaran that was meters away from washing onto rocks. After that experience, Trent and I created a 2-point tow bridle that connects to welded tow points on our tender, so that it tows in a straight line, rather than trying to bowline through a single attachment in an emergency that makes the tender pull in a circle. Now, how shallow is it? Oh shit! It's just only 1.8 meters.
Surprise Pikachu.
It was a stark reminder of the importance of being careful when navigating through the lagoon.
I want to climb that rope. That rope looks like fun.
That's quite nice though. Even in the short time we've been in St. Martin, we've already knocked out some long overdue projects that we just never got to on the hard sand because we just kept getting caught up helping with warranty and we just didn't have time to do our own stuff. So one is finally finishing the rod holders that I started and Tynan started a very long time ago. Another is working on a day lift bridle for our tender. This has been a long time project of Trent's. We finally have just about finished that. So we are taking things off at a rate that we're really happy with while balancing that with just trying to take a breather. Time for Rose's walk, and today we're going to take her up the top of the fort here. that overlooks Marigot Bay.
Cactus fort.
It's kind of windy, as you can see from my hair, but so we went through town, up the colourful staircase. Now we're at the car park and we just have to go up the hill to get to the actual fort itself.
So you can see the colour of the water, the texture of the water.
Yeah, past that wind zone.
Huh.
There's that big flat bit in front of that blue monohull.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
You want to be up in there.
Yeah.
It's dead flat.
That is flat.
And that hill protects it.
Yeah. I vote we move the boat. Perched up on a hill with expansive views of Marigot and the surrounding area, Fort Louis was built in 1789 to protect the harbour from enemies, including pirates, looking to steal valuable goods like rum, sugar and coffee. Over the years, the fort eventually fell into disrepair, but it was never totally destroyed, and today the ruins are open to the public to visit for free. It's been Europe since we did a walk where we had some ruins on it, so this is actually really cool. Reminds me a lot of our time in Croatia and then especially our time in Gibraltar. All the way down in the bay there we can see Liga. I don't know how well the camera's picking up, but she's right there. Traveling with a dog, our favourite thing to do for her afternoon walks is find cool places in the towns or cities that we're in to go and explore with her, rather than just finding like a dog park or a dog beach. It's more interesting for sure, and then if possible we do try and finish it off with like a visit to a dog friendly bar or something for a drink before we head back to the boat. So this has been an afternoon well spent. End of the week, so I'm going to give you the best update that I can to do with the chain and anchor, but again it's still a very kind of fluid situation. We've continued monitoring it through the week and we are definitely not seeing the level and speed of degradation that we saw at the start, and that is just kind of adding to the evidence pile that this was a stray voltage issue in that very first bay in that first week in Trinidad when we anchored. We do have a silver chloride electrode on its way from Australia. Thank you, Mum, for posting that out to us. It's called a rust seeker, and that is going to help us finish off the testing that we want to do, just to really give ourselves the peace of mind that it was external and not from the boat. The windlass is okay, completely fine, but what we are looking at doing is changing it so that that can be completely disconnected on the positive and negative side when it's not being used and just totally isolated. We're also in contact with Mantis Marine and Chromox. So Mantis Marine obviously are the guys that make the M1 anchor. It's a great anchor. We have one on Liga and we have one on the tender. So the one on Liga, the bolts were severely corroded. We didn't want to lift the anchor up and take the bolts out to inspect them though until we had something new to put in there, and Mantis Marine are assisting with that, and I'm also talking to them about a chain hook because they have a cool new design that we're interested in trying since our chain hook is busted. The anchor also has pitting on it, which we're not sure what to do about at this stage because apparently it will keep eating into the metal if left. We don't know whether to grind it out, weld it up, or if something else is better, but given the financial investment that an 85-pound Mantis M1 stainless steel anchor was, we need to work out the best way forward. Chromox is the actual chain manufacturer. Now, they make their chains and design, testing, all of it is done in Germany. So this is a German stainless steel chain. It's not just some random one we found on the shelf. We got it directly from Chromox. So that is why I said last week that we were confident in the quality of the product. We are speaking to them at the moment. They have been helpful. Trent sent them a list of questions for their engineers to answer. So yeah, that is developing with them at the moment. I should be able to share some news on that front next week. But we're working our way through this problem. Still stressful. I think we'll feel a lot better when the silver chloride tester gets here and we can have more definitive answers. We've just been through so much with the electrical system on this boat that it's hard to trust that that's not the problem, even though all the evidence points to an external factor. So as this all develops, we'll keep you guys updated, but you know, again, we always try and focus on the positives. We are in St. Martin. You know, it's a beautiful island. There is new places for us to explore. We have thoroughly enjoyed meeting a lot of the people here and catching up with old friends. So that's it for this week. It's time for me to do the final cut and upload this for you.